You are watching the Tuesday night edition of Chicago Corner. Woo!
Hello, hi, welcome to Taco Tuesday. Who wants a taco? Yeah, I know. Taco, we're going crazy. All right, everyone, act normal. Perfect. Now, everybody say Taco Tuesday.
Oh my God! It's Taco Tuesday.
Pizza and Taco. Who's the best? By Stephen Shapkan.
And voila. Pizza tacos.
The food things kind of stick with my brain a little longer than anything else. Everything else inside here, it's a Swiss cheese.
It was Pegleg who started the Great Chicago Fire.
Hey, you dirty son of an elf, get back here and help me put out this fire. Oh, sure, like the people will believe that Santa went on a bender in October and started a barn fire.
Unless it's the cheese on a pizza, which sticks, it stays.
Yes, that is the cheese that stays.
Yeah, that's the cheese that stays.
Hey, Jerry.
Oh, my goodness,
Hey,
yes.
Hey, Jerry.
Yes.
Hey, Jerry. What are you doing?
How did you get a camera? How did you get a camera?
What are you doing?
I'm doing the show.
What's the show?
What's the show? The show is Chicago Corner. You know damn well what the show is.
Is that thing where you sit in front of the screen all the time?
Yeah, and you always walk on my keyboard and screw up the controls when I'm trying to talk to people.
Oh, is that what? Oh, sorry.
My little boy?
I didn't mean to do that.
All right, I know you did.
Damn it, and there are ants in my whiskey.
They add flavor, Kira. Is that like the worm in tequila?
Have you seen my whiskey ants anywhere?
The whiskey ants are right here. I thought that I had... Oh, man. That's okay. That's okay. The show will go on, everybody. Joining us tonight is the one, the only, the pizza master himself, Mr. Ed Heller.
A lovely cheese pizza just for me.
Hello? Is anybody out there? I'm stuck in a live stream. Jerry? Kira? Anybody? I've been stuck in here ever since I hit the setup button in YouTube. What happened? Where am I? Oh, wait. Oh, hold on. Wait, I see it. You mean I could have pressed that button the whole time? Oh, hi, everybody. Ed Heller here, hosting Chicago Corner here on Taco Tuesday. Kira's got the night off, and we're going to cover some stuff. I should be more specific. Hey, Jerry. Are we covering more than just stuff today?
Well, Buenos Knockers, Ed, for Taco Tuesday. Did I get that right?
That's close enough, Jerry.
Or Buenos Nachos?
Let me turn on the little crawl dealy on the bottom there. Yes.
We have a banner.
Welcome, everyone, to Tuesday night Chicago Corner. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tell everybody. Tell all your friends. Tell your enemies. Tell everyone that we are live and we're taking over.
Or as Gary, oh my God, Gary Oldman would like to say from The Professional, everyone! Or is it everybody?
Yeah, pretty much.
One or the other.
And if everyone's sad about Kira not being here, don't worry.
She'll be back.
She'll be back on another Tuesday. But maybe this will help. We will start with the happy premises that will help us get through the rest of this show.
Happy premise number one. Happy premise number one. There are no aliens. Happy premise number two. Happy premise number two. There is no giant foot trying to squash me. Happy premise number three. Happy premise number three. Even though I feel like I might ignite, I probably won't. So, what do we do? Keep it together. Keep it together, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together.
Okay. That's good advice. Thank you. And welcome everyone in the live chat. Who's in here today? Jerry?
We've got our regulars, Kathy Powers. We've got Big Mr. Firebird, Extra Bulla, Ware Pilgrim, Constipational Conservative, Pat Brannigan.
Oh, no, Jerry. He's contributional conservative. Remember, we want him to tip us.
You say contributional. I say constipational.
All right.
How's it going, Lou? I say sabotage.
Okay. Yes, Pat Brannigan. We are the News Brothers, although I don't have my hat handy.
That's true.
We got stuff going on today. Let me flip over to the doohickey. And we are covering the Chicago mayoral and aldermanic ballot submission day that happened on Monday. And Jerry and the Chicago Corner team were there.
We were. And let me also give a special thanks and shout out to Mr. Connor Dorr, who was our videographer. He is a regular contributor to production over at Harlan's Media. And he was kind enough to come out and handle the big camera that I have such a tough time walking around with my cane. And Kit was there also to assist us. And he also contributed by interviewing. Well, you'll see. We had a good time, though. When I was editing the segment for tonight's show, I had no idea we'd be able to cover 20 minutes. A lot of exclusive interviews, a lot of exclusive commentary from our mayoral and aldermanic candidates from across our 50 wards.
Yeah, so without any further ado, let's see if this thing plays for us today.
All right.
We're here at the Chicago Board of Elections petition drop-off for the aldermanic candidates as well as the incoming mayoral candidates.
Oh, hold on a second. Was that Aldermort?
It was Aldermort.
We gotta back up.
We were
back up just for a second. Hold on.
That's a guy I didn't
We're here at the Chicago Board of Elections petition drop-off for the aldermanic candidate.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there he is. He's looking real shifty, too.
That's a guy I didn't want to get close to interview because the smell of sulfur was so overpowering when you got closer to him. So I just decided I would keep my distance. He's a very intimidating looking skinhead. And there's also in the middle there's Patrick Brutus, who I'm actually friends with. He's running for alderman. I didn't get a chance to talk with him on camera, but he is a very, very good guy who's running for alderman down on the southwest side. I'm forgetting which ward he's running in, but keep your eyes on Patrick Brutus, everybody. He's got my endorsement.
Let's continue.
As well as the incoming mayoral candidates for the city of Chicago. We are going to be covering some of the press conferences that candidates are giving and also see who showed up. Raymond Lopez dropped out of the race. It's been speculated maybe he didn't have enough petition signatures, although one alderman here stated that maybe he was just looking at the spread, which is a reason he decided to drop out. There are 12,500 signatures needed to get on the ballot for the mayor's office, so we'll see who showed up here today. I see Sophia King, I see Toni Preckwinkle's here also. It'll be interesting to cover what happens here today, so stay tuned. We're here with Alderman Byron Sigcho Lopez, here to file his petitions for alderman. Apparently you got the amount of petitions for the alderman's seat. How many petitions are aldermen required to have to run on the ballot?
463 signatures.
How many are you bringing?
About 2,000.
Awesome. It's good to see you here this morning. Any thoughts on what's happening with some of the candidates dropping out of the mayoral race?
Well, I mean, it shows the importance of having a coalition, right? To be able to have enough support on the ground. I think that that's important to make sure that we have candidates that are rooted in our communities. And I think that, it starts with the petitions. And I think that is a thing. I think one of the things that we need to be asking people is, what is the plan? What is the plan? Especially mayoral candidates, we need to have an option. And I think the coalition has to be a coalition working people to change what is being unfortunately the norm. The rich and powerful running the city, and the working people struggling every day to make ends meet.
What's going to be interesting to me this morning is to see how many petition signatures that Congressman Garcia was able to get in such a short amount of time, with so many other candidates having jumped in the race much earlier. I know that there's probably going to be quite a feud brewing between him and Brandon Johnson, given Brandon Johnson jumping into the race sooner, and now Chewy coming out as another progressive candidate. Any thoughts on any of that?
Congressman Garcia did not show up, which is curious. Like, as I mentioned, we're wondering how many petition signatures he'll have. He got in the race very, very late. He was a no-show. Yeah. And I know that I think that they've got a deadline for one more week, but between him and Mayor Lightfoot, who was also a no-show, and that'll come out in some of my conversations with some of the other candidates, the two top names in this race did not feel it was important enough to get enough signatures on time or even show up. I think in Lightfoot's case, well, we'll talk about that more later, but let's continue with it. But yeah, Garcia was a no-show. This was very early in the morning when people were showing up, and I assumed Garcia would show up, but he never showed.
Yeah, well, that's like you said, that's not surprising because he got in so late. So clearly he's going to have to play catch up with the signatures if he's even serious about getting them. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if he gets them in time.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Well, to me, there's one big winner here is Mayor Lightfoot. Mayor Lightfoot wins whether our progressive movement is split. I think there is a clear choice, a clear progressive choice. Is Commissioner Brandon Johnson. He's made it clear on his position on police brutality, on investment in our schools, on building coalition. Let's remember, Mayor Washington did not join the machine to fight it. Mayor Washington and many people who are running on his cocktails, who even Mayor Lightfoot mentioned Mayor Washington when it's convenient. But when it comes to implement his policies, there's really few policies that really reflect those values. I think that right now what we have is the status quo that is happy to have Mayor Lightfoot or Congressman Garcia. We have a suburban hedge fund manager who was there announcing his candidacy. And this is splitting the progressive base, and I think it's intentional. I think it's a way to stop what the movement was doing. We have a candidate that is going to communities, who is building coalition, who is making what Washington did. Independent political organizations opening the gate to the working people. What we have right now is a candidate like Mayor Lightfoot, who's been terrible to the Latino community and other communities, has been really governing for Wall Street while Main Street is suffering. We have a congressman who has been avoiding any kind of scrutiny and is already talking about the issue of safety is about boosting the morale of the police. When we have the Proud Boys in the department, we have also a congressman who's been okay with the land grabs of CHA. We have issues that need to be scrutinized. We cannot allow the privatization of public land in a time when we need public housing and affordable housing. So
pause that for a minute. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to pause here because he's a mile a minute with every one of these things, and he's on point for all of them.
Absolutely.
I'm like
public land. We've been reporting on the CHA stuff, right? The constant giving away of public land to businesses, and then bartering, trading land, and then the land that's traded back to the CHA is not really adequate to house people, while they give away prime real estate property to, what was it, Target down in the old Cabrini Green neighborhood, to the Chicago Fire soccer team. He's absolutely on point with all of this. You're right, Ed.
Yeah, and of course he's behind Johnson because whatever perspective he has, that he must think Johnson has a chance. But that's his opinion. We'll see what happens. And yeah, he's also right that a bunch of these people are trying to get into the clown car to make it a lot harder for Lori to lose in the primary, or at least a lot harder for somebody to get a majority. So yeah,
that was another one of the candidates showing up at the petition drop off yesterday morning.
Yeah, that's Ray Lopez leaving the car right over there. Okay. So, and yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
We need to be candidates not for what they said, because progressive has become a word with empty meaning. We need to make sure that we bet candidates on what they're going to.
He's so right on that too. Progressive is a mantle. It's a positive mantle. It's progress. Looking forward. That word, that label has been co-opted by neoliberals in the Democratic Party, and they've just been running roughshod all over it, wiping their asses with it, unfortunately, because it used to be when you didn't want to be identified as a Democrat or a liberal because of how the neoliberals have infiltrated the party, progressive was the label to go to. And now they've ruined that too. So I was glad that he mentioned that, because I think in Chicago, I will say, I think our politicians, our progressive politicians in Chicago have not sullied that label. Lightfoot did, because she claimed she was a progressive and she's not. And Democrats all over the party across the rest of the nation, especially the squad, they identify themselves as progressives. They're not. They're sellouts. But I think here in Chicago, what we've seen of the Progressive Caucus of aldermen, they've been true to what that identity is supposed to stand for.
Or at least more than any other caucus that we're aware.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, everything's relative. But, okay. Come on. I have to hit the thing twice. Come on.
To do, and what's the plan to change around? And to me, the only progressive option right now is Commissioner Brandon Johnson. I think the status quo is okay with Mayor Lightfoot or Congressman Garcia, and I think that's not something that our community can afford.
It does seem like there's a potential for spoiling, so we'll have to see how it plays out. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning.
Absolutely, thank you, and let's make sure that we have a candidate for the working people. We need a coalition builder that is really put a platform to put working people first before the interests of unfortunately, the big financial interests that continue to profit in a time of suffering.
Alderman Lopez, thanks for joining us this morning. There was some news that broke earlier today that you had decided not to file petitions for the mayor's race, and I wanted to find out, after the time that you've put in, what guided your decision to withdraw and not file your petitions for the mayor's office?
Jerry, this campaign has always been about helping Chicago, raising Chicago, lifting Chicago, and saving Chicago from the mayor that we have right now. This was not about an ego trip for me. This was about doing the right thing. And the right thing in this moment is making sure that we narrow down the field to ensure that we can defeat Lori Lightfoot. She has to go. And with so many candidates running in the race, the chances of her being reelected grow. I felt it was incumbent upon me to take stock of where we're at, to be able to help find a way to solidify the opposition and to ensure that we can deny her a second term. And the only way that I can do that is by removing myself from this race. I will remain on, hopefully, as Alderman of the 15th Ward, continuing on to advocate for my ward and for the people, and to hold the administration, whether it's this one or the next one, accountable for what they do to the taxpayers. But right now, the goal has to be to defeat Lori Lightfoot, plain and simple. You have 10 people, possibly 12 people filing for mayor. The percentage she needs to make it to a runoff diminishes and gets easier. The odds of her running against someone who's an extreme left or extreme candidate and trying to purport herself to be the rational choice grows. And we've seen that trend in the last week.
Yeah. He says that like it's a bad thing. Progressives, he says it like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, and let's and we're going to take a break from that just for a second, because since we're talking about Ray Lopez, let's see what ABC 7 has to say about him.
Chicago mayor is changing. Alderman Raymond Lopez was the first candidate to announce a run for Chicago mayor against Lori Lightfoot, and now he's the first to drop out of the race. Political analyst Laura Washington is here to talk about that more. Laura, good morning.
Morning.
So what do you think led to that decision?
Well, there's never been a sitting alderman elected to the mayor's office. That's a tough thing to do. He had a difficult time raising money. With U.S. Representative Chuy Garcia getting into the race, that cut into his Latino base. So I think that was part of his calculation.
There are already so many other people, though, who are in the race for mayor. Does Lopez stepping out really change things?
I think it narrows the field a little bit. It makes it tougher for Lori Lightfoot to compete. I think all of her opponents, including Lopez, want to see her have a much narrower.
Okay. All right. This is who ABC 7 thinks are in the running right now.
We'll have to download that image and put check marks on everyone that drops out as things progress.
Yeah, and so I thought it was interesting. He was the first to announce and the first one to drop out. It's, okay. All right,
Certainly
dude.
was. First in the wheelbarrow and first to jump out of the wheelbarrow.
Or Hill, so it'd be much more difficult for her to possibly get into the runoff.
We had a camera out yesterday, saw live what was going on here in the loop. Candidates trying to get those nominating petitions filed. What strategies are they using to make sure that their names get on the ballot?
Well, first of all, they have to have 12,500 signatures, which means they really have to collect at least 3 times that many. And the whole issue.
12,500 signatures.
Yes.
Okay.
Too is the beginning and the end. On Monday, you want to be the first to file, one of the first to file, because then you go into a lottery, which means you might be first on the ballot, depending on who wins that lottery. Same thing with next Monday. You want to be last to file, so that you might get into the lottery, and because the first and last positions on the ballot are the premium ones.
You said you need 3 times.
3 times.
Why do you need so many?
Because they're going to be challenged. The petitions and the signatures are going to all be challenged. Some of them are not going to be valid. Some of them are going to be inaccurate or not complete. And so you have to have enough to withstand the challenge.
Yeah. Time-honored process.
Yes, it is. The Chicago way.
Yeah.
Chicago way, you're not.
The Chicago way. The Chicago way is to challenge your opponent's ballots signatures instead of actually winning on the merits. So, okay. Thanks for that.
You're not to approve of your methods.
Let's get...
Yeah? Well, you're not from Chicago.
Okay. And let's
not
get
fooling
back
me,
to...
and I refuse to allow her to fool the voters of Chicago. I will help remind people who she is and what she's done to this city.
Yeah, I think that's what we do here, actually. We got that covered, Ray. You don't have to do it. You don't have to work so hard.
That's our job.
Thoughts on who you may endorse to support?
I'm thankful to the thousands of people who supported me, and I will help give them guidance when the time is right. Today, this is about filing for alderman and getting through this moment. But you'll be.
When the time is right, in other words, whichever candidate gives me the most cash.
He's hedging his bet.
And then, speaking of cash, I don't know, should we bring this part up of the story?
Yeah, actually, let me share. Yeah, I've got it. I've got,
you got the Twitter thing up there.
If anyone can read it, should I zoom in more?
Yeah, could you zoom in just a little? I'll bring it up on my end just so I can see it.
So this comes from the People's Fabric. Keep thinking about this and how this can be legal. Like anyone can just say they are running in a race that has caps blown, go hog wild, and then file for a different race. If so, seems a major flaw in campaign finance law. And what they're referencing is that Raymond Lopez shamelessly exploited a loophole on campaign contributions to net a cool $150,000 donation from an individual just 3 days before announcing that he'll run for alderman instead of mayor. This donation from Friday would be illegal for him to accept tomorrow.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
They all know how to. They all seem to engage in a strategy where they know the loopholes and know when to get in and when to get out. Is this legal? Maybe. Is it ethical?
Not really.
Yeah, I got to say something too. Having encountered all of these candidates in person, I was sharing this with Kit and Connor after we left. It's having met so many people in person, you almost don't want to do that because it makes it harder to be irreverent about them, because when you meet them in person, you can clearly sense they're, as Kit said, they are the heroes in their own stories. Clearly, Lopez believes in what he stands for, even if we disagree with it. So, on a level of, I got to start getting serious on this show as we're covering these people and meeting them in person and having a little bit more respect. I want people to know we want to hang on to as much irreverence as we can, but not risk the possibility of people not talking to us if we actually have legitimate questions out in the field. So it was very interesting to kind of get up close and personal with a lot of these people, because when I was speaking with Alderman Lopez, it was like he was serious and he was he was speaking from the strength of his convictions. And then this Twitter comes out today about the contribution, and it's just like, does he realize how the optics on this look? Is he really corrupt, or did he really think, well, this is okay because I've got a larger goal here a larger end game. Yeah, so I'm looking at the live chat. Interesting. Yeah,
it's
illegal,
I mean,
immoral.
seriously.
Keeps voting blue no matter. No, we don't vote blue no matter. Okay, I'm not voting. I don't vote blue no matter who, and we do not promote that. As I said, I vote for the candidate who best reflects my ideals. In many cases, Ed, even if I think they don't have a chance. Now, I'm not saying this time the candidate I'm standing behind, I don't think he has a chance. I think he's very underestimated. But as we get to the coverage of Brandon Johnson's press conference and Jamal Green's press conference, I would only ask our viewers to gauge the charisma and the energy levels and what each are speaking about, because that is why, as much as I believe Brandon Johnson is progressive, personally, my hat's in the ring with Jamal. And personally, I'm not telling everybody else what they should do or who they should vote for, but I did find it interesting in their two subsequent press conferences why I tend to lean towards the progressive candidacy of Jamal as opposed to Brandon Johnson.
Okay. Well, let's get back to it. We got 20 minutes. We're what, maybe 10 in?
Possibly, yeah.
Maybe 5. I mean, not even 5. All right.
The first to know with the rest of Chicago who I will be endorsing and encouraging others to support as well later.
Any thoughts on, there's been some speculation here, Congressman Garcia's entry into the race so late could potentially be like a spoiler position for anybody who's running against Lightfoot, kind of split up the coalitions that are forming around certain candidates. Any thoughts on Congressman Garcia jumping in so late?
I will tell you this, there are plenty of spoilers in this race, long before Chuy Garcia got into it. Some people are jumping into this race, pushed into this race to be spoilers, others are spoilers by default and don't even realize it. The fact is that everyone running for Chicago's mayor should take stock as to why they're doing this. If you're doing it for your ego, if you're doing it for yourself, you shouldn't be in this race. I never did this for myself. I'm trying to save my city, and I need to save it from Lori Lightfoot.
I think we all do. Thank you for your service and for sharing a few words with us.
Thank you.
The mayor of Chicago has been an incredible disappointment to people. She has broken nearly every single promise. It's actually quite offensive because of, organizers like myself, public school teachers, public employees, businesses had hope 4 years ago. And she snatched that away from them because she broke promises. I don't break promises. I'm a promise keeper. And that's what my focus is going to be, is keeping the promises that I'm running on and to make sure that families like mine across the city have the type of representation that we've longed for. And I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. Yeah, that's Brandon Johnson. He's the one endorsed by the Teachers Union and SEIU Local 72.
He was the alternate candidate to Garcia because Garcia would not commit to the Teachers Union when they were pursuing him. And then, after he won his second bid for Congress, then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go run for mayor of Chicago now." And didn't he come? He went to the Teachers Union and asked them if they could hold off on who they wanted to endorse, and they're like, "No, man, we got to start moving now. We got a lot of work to do, and we can't wait on you." So they chose to get behind Johnson, and now Garcia's coming in as a potential spoiler.
Yeah, you snooze, you lose, Chewy. Come on, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyway, so interesting. I don't know if I posted the story in the show notes, but the interesting thing about Brandon Johnson is that SEIU 72 was only going to endorse candidates that promote a living wage, and in their mind, that is $25 an hour. So whether that was a contingency of him getting their endorsement or not, we don't know, but it'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah.
Gathering signatures, is that what she's waiting till the last day to file this?
I'm not having any problems in my campaign this far. We're turning in well over 40,000 signatures. As I said, just on election day, we had over 300 volunteers that showed up. Look, the progressive movement is alive and well, and that progressive movement has surrounded itself around me. I'm very humbled by it, and I'm looking forward to leading this city. Me filing today expresses the strength of the progressive movement. It expresses the strength of the coalition that I've been building over the course of 20 years in this city. The fact that we have unemployment in communities throughout the city of Chicago that have reached Great Depression era numbers. That's what our fight has to be about. Securing economic stability for families who have longed for it. It's the fight that my father led, raising all 10 of us, my 9 brothers and sisters, in one house with one bathroom. That's what our focus has to be, to make sure that the ends are meeting every single day. And
okay. So he's got 40,000 signatures. I think Jamal told us the other night that he got 30,000 signatures.
I think he said close to 30 or a little bit over 30. And he mentions it in his press conference also.
So when we take stock, I don't know if we've got a list somewhere of how many candidates got how many signatures yet. But if we have enough left-leaning candidates that have gathered enough signatures, and one of them is able to actually get through the primaries into a runoff, then we're going to have enough to beat Lori, I think.
Fingers crossed.
Give families just a little bit of hope that government is going to be responsive to those needs. That's what our fight is.
Madam, just for a few minutes of your time, I want to get your thoughts on how this race will compare to the election we saw in 2019. Obviously, we have a crowded field of candidates. Is this election going to be different from what we saw in 2019? What are the challenges that the people of Chicago, the average voter, are going to have to deal with?
Well, I'm encouraged that there's so much interest in this election and so many candidates. That indicates a healthy democracy. I'm particularly here to support Lamont Robinson, who's my candidate in the 4th Ward for alderman, a job that I held for 19 years. I haven't taken a position in the mayor's race and probably won't until after the runoff, but I am encouraged.
She's assuming there's going to be a runoff.
Well,
so,
that's what we're normally used to.
And she may have the insight here. I'm thinking, she's probably right. It's probably more than likely there's going to be a runoff here. There's like a coalition of people who don't like each other about anything other than hating Lightfoot in this city.
Yeah,
that's the one thing everybody is getting together about. I'm like, well, yeah.
Probably why she didn't show up. Can you imagine showing up to a hostile crowd at the petition signing drop-off? Maybe one of the reasons. The other reason might be that she doesn't have enough signatures.
Excuse me, Jerry. Excuse me, Jerry. I told everybody I was going to wait till the last day for no particular reason other than maybe that might be the reason why I did it last time, which is not an excuse, but that's why I wasn't there. And plus, I'm besties with Pete Buttigieg. Which
I know why.
I think I pronounced right. I'm not sure.
I know why she wasn't there, Ed. She was shooting another karaoke promo.
Come on, oh baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, oh baby, don't you wanna go?
Okay, I think that's about as much as we're allowed to play.
What a fucking bitch, am I right?
Unless they DMCA us anyway.
We're probably going to get a copyright strike anyway, but whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm actually looking forward to see how many they actually hit us with this time, because I think my open
yes. Okay, he's right.
May,
she was
may
waiting
very
in line
possibly
for donuts.
waiting in line for donuts.
Lightfoot was waiting in line for donuts. Good one.
All right.
To see so many people out and interested in serving.
Now, the thing is, in 2019, Mayor Rahm Emanuel was MIA for the first 3 mayoral debates until he eventually dropped out. Lightfoot is dealing with a lot of challenges. Will she be dealing with the same challenges like what we saw in 2019? Will she be able to attend some of these mayoral debates? Because right now the people of Chicago want something different. There are so many candidates stepping up, and clearly Chicagoans want something more of the office of the mayor.
Well, I think the fact that there's so many mayoral candidates indicates that there are constituencies within the city of Chicago that feel either not represented or looking for different representation. I think when there's a huge field like this, it's unlikely that anybody will get 50% of the 50% plus one of the vote on the first round, and so we're likely looking at an election in April to decide at least the mayor's race, and probably many of our aldermanic races as well.
And in regards for Chicagoans to vote, will there be enough information for at least the people to know? Because sometimes when the situations that voters deal with, especially here in Chicago, is many of them are not aware that an election is actually taking place, even though we're bombarded with social media. How are we going to get the word out for Chicago voters to actually get their vote out?
Well, we count on the media to help us with that, and so I'm grateful. But I think it's the obligation of every citizen to be informed when it comes to an election. I always say, I'm a history teacher. I always told my students that the first obligation of a citizen is to vote in the election. That's necessary but not sufficient. You also got to get out and work for and contribute to the people you believe in. Otherwise, we won't have a healthy democracy. So it's incumbent upon each of us, every citizen, to vote. And as I said, to invest time and money in the candidates they believe in.
Okay, all right, hold on a second. Okay, Preckwinkle, Toni, let's talk for a second. If you really believe in a candidate, and that candidate is legitimately a candidate who's going to do things for you, then sure. If they're just giving you lip service, and especially if they're running for re-election and they didn't do anything for you the first time, it's not on us. It's on them. It's on the candidate to prove their worth to you.
Follow through.
It's not up to you to support a candidate who's not going to pull their weight.
Ed, can I also share with you really quickly? I'm monitoring Rockfin. I can't bring these up on my end, but we have a.
Oh wait, hold on. Wait. 1 second, Jerry.
Oh, no, what happened?
8:09 p.m.
What did we say?
8:09 p.m.
I blocked him.
Are you on the? In the sex porn bot live chat pool?
I blocked him. But
who had 8:09? Was that Kira?
Oh, was there a raffle?
I think Kira had was it like before 8:30, and then somebody else had it after 8:30.
I don't even know what
Kira
we
won.
I don't even know what we said. But we have a $10 super chat from Rockfin. Can you bring it up so I can read it? From Dominic Palella.
Oh, hey, look at that. We do indeed.
Awesome. Thank you, Dominic.
All right.
He is one of our prime patrons. And thank you, Dominic, also for contributing on Rockfin. Please, anybody that wants to support us, make your contribution and tip the channel on Rockfin, not YouTube, because Rockfin pays out more for the work we do. Even though it's not a lot, it's helpful.
Yeah. So Dominic says, instead of quote progressive, we should have another word to identify an honest candidate's platform.
We've been debating what can that word be. We don't independent. I mean, they can't sully independent yet.
Legitimate? I don't know. We'll have to work on the word. He says
it would be to
call themselves representatives. Representatives do not vote on legislation unless it is to pass it when it benefits their constituents and reject it when it doesn't. So independentvoterparty.org is Dominic's website. You should go on there. He's got his own pledge. We've got a pledge here at Chicago Corner. It's the Mayoral pledge to the city, and we have been revising it and tweaking it and adding things and making some changes. And if you check the show notes, there should be a link to it in there if you're going to take a look. You guys have any suggestions, send an email to jerry@chicagocorner.tv and let us know if there's anything you want to add. to the Chicago Corner manifesto.
But let's also say, let people know, Dominic's website, independentvoterparty.org, shows voters how to elect representatives that listen and respond to their constituents. And I think that there's a lot that we also agree on with Dominic's pledge of candidates. I think that Dominic's pledge and our manifesto kind of coexist side by side. Although we're planning to read our manifesto to City Council, I think in January, once we determine who is going to be on the ballot and start asking the candidates who had enough signatures, who weren't knocked out from any challenges, how they feel regarding all of the different points on our demands for the citizens of Chicago.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, Jerry. Both of our pledges coexist, and they have a similar goal. We want to make sure that when we have representatives, especially in local government, that they actually represent us.
Yes.
And not corporations or their buddies or big pharma, all those other crazy organizations and special interest groups that do not have the regular peoples, the general public, the working class, the poor, and all the community's interests in heart. Where's our mental health clinics? Exactly, Kathy. Those were supposed to be restored. Mayor Lightfoot even said that she wanted to. We didn't see that happen.
All empty promises from her.
So let's go back to the video.
I'm so excited today on the first day of filing to announce my candidacy for mayor of the city of Chicago. And we are ready to go all the way to City Hall, y'all.
That's Jamal Green. He's the youngest candidate to run for mayor. Every time he runs, he's the youngest candidate to run.
Friend of the show. He was on last Friday with us.
Yeah,
live.
He was on last Friday. But being young doesn't mean you don't have experience.
Absolutely.
And he's gonna talk about that.
He has more experience. He walks the walk. He doesn't just talk the talk.
Over the past few months, our team.
That's why I tend to lean towards him, because he's actually in the neighborhoods doing things on the ground. And when people say he's young, he doesn't have experience, I counter with, well, everybody who has experience doesn't seem to be doing anything but making things worse. He has the experience from the communities he's actually serving. And he did point that out and correct me, and I think he's right. I think he does have the right kind of experience that we need, no matter what his age is. And I also tend to think that too many people dismiss youth as being some kind of a liability. It's not. They are struggling in the circumstances the experienced older generation has created for them. Yes, he's got street cred. That's why I all respect
all across this city.
All respect to Brandon Johnson. Jamal's got street cred.
Few policies that really.
Oh, sorry. Did that just jump back? What happened?
You did. Let me see if I can jump us forward.
Not just banning of boot and seizures, but a
Sorry, guys.
Safety that we're talking about in.
I don't want to miss.
Is a new day.
Give me a second.
We are just excited that we have the all the way to City Hall, y'all. Over the past few months, our team all across this city, folks, volunteers, folks in businesses, folks everywhere, have all stepped up to say that we are going to help propel this candidacy all the way to City Hall. We have gathered almost 30,000 signatures, and we are just excited that we have the excitement all across this city. This is a time where we must make sure that we are talking about the new breed of leadership in the city and how we are going to move forward. We need young leaders who are not tainted like the rest of these politicians who have failed us for so long. Most of the people in this race are in elected positions they don't do good at, or in continuing to try to use their career to gain money off of the public. Today is a new day. We are bringing forth the most revolutionary platform that really speaks to everyday people and neighborhoods all across this city. Whether it is making sure that when we talk about public safety, that we're talking about investing into the root causes of it all throughout neighborhoods.
Every broadcast we're referencing that we need proactive solutions, not reactive ones. And so far, most of the candidates that I hear from are talking about reactive solutions, more money to the police departments. I don't know where that money goes because it has not reduced crime, while the important funds that need to go into investing in the neighborhoods, helping young people, helping reopen the mental health clinics, helping get the homeless off the streets. Never enough money for that.
Investing in neighborhoods to build them, increase home ownership, increase small business development, invest in young people, have a pipeline to middle class jobs, whether it is opening a city-owned bank, whether it is banning the boot.
Remember when I talked about charisma, Ed? That's the vibe I'm getting. That's the vibe I'm getting. And that's the vibe we need.
Yeah, so far there's two candidates that are giving me that vibe. So
who's the other candidate for you?
Brandon Johnson.
Johnson,
is the
okay.
other one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the debates. We'll see who's got more popularity, who's got better ideas.
Yeah, I think the debates are going to be very eye-opening. Very eye-opening.
So that we can stop oppressing and preying on city residents, we have a revolutionary platform. Not just banning the boot and seizures, but eliminating red light cameras. We are now going to be a city that makes sure.
Eliminating red light cameras? You got it? I know.
Where did the button go?
I'm scrambling too. I got it.
We canceled each other out, Jerry. Hold on.
Yes!
What this is telling me is that he's actually watching our show, or
I hope so. No, I think that we're resonating with a lot of people across Chicago feel about the traffic scamras and the boots.
Yeah, although he does have an assistant or who watches us.
That's true. He came on last Friday night too, which was nice to hear.
So that was pretty cool.
For that everyone, no matter the neighborhood, no matter the income status, that they have the opportunity to grow and thrive. And guess what? Their kids are going to have a better opportunity than we did. That's what this is about. Making sure that young leaders all across this city and this country step up and create the future that we can all believe in. So we are building a multi-generational, multicultural, folks all across this city that want change. Please understand that the non-voters and the young voters are going to decide this election. Over 70% of people who usually don't vote, many people who don't even register. They finally have a voice from the neighborhoods that's been fighting on behalf of the people for all of these years.
Yeah, that's a good question, Miguel. I don't know. I think it's a pretty good document so far. It's got a lot of good points in it.
30 days, we had over 13,000 signatures in the first 30 days. And I was looking like, wow, these signatures are coming in fast. We had over 40 businesses say that we're going to allow people to be in our businesses to circulate throughout the day. So make sure you send in folks, or we're going to utilize our employees. They made sure that each and every day, our volunteers, we had over 100 volunteers help circulate these petitions. But when you go through these petitions, you're going to see many folks who circulated, who grabbed that petition to say, we want the youngest candidate ever, but the most experienced candidate in this race, all the way to City Hall. I know a lot of media, a lot of folks going to underestimate us, but I want y'all to please understand, don't underestimate the folks who have been dying for a voice in politics. Don't underestimate those young people who are looking for someone to speak about their future and how they're going to progress it. Don't underestimate the policies and the platform that we're moving forward that speaks to everyday people and neighborhoods who have been failed for so long. Don't underestimate us. Trust and believe. This come February 28th, we are going to make a statement, and we are going to go into that runoff and win that runoff come April and walk in those doors come May and bring forth a new vision for the city of Chicago. And I hope to see all of you there.
Jim, I want a quick question. Ray Lopez dropping out, he said it was a crowded field. Are you worried at all about this crowded field?
The crowded field of politicians who have failed at their jobs, I love it, all right? We are the only outsider in this race. We are the only person in this race who can speak to everyday people who usually don't vote. And we have traditional voters, our seniors. Yesterday we had over 300 seniors at a senior festival for Green, and I'm just so excited that no matter the age, no matter the demographic, they're all coming together to say, we want Jamal Green for mayor and not the regular politicians who just want to go seat to seat.
Can you speak briefly to the benefits of a public bank and how it will help Chicago?
Okay, next time it's, hi, Jerry Vasilatos, Chicago Corner, and then ask the question.
No. It's not not about me.
I'm just ragging you. I'm just messing.
Okay. So the question was, can you speak to the importance of a public bank and how it helps Chicagoans?
Yeah, which is
Chicagoans?
Oh yeah, 100%. Creating a public bank is just like they created in Bank of North Dakota that's been widely successful. We have the opportunity that instead of putting $28 billion of our taxpayer dollars into banks who redline us, who invest in private prisons, invest in immigration detention centers, invest in fossil fuel industries, we will have our own engine in the city of Chicago where we can back home loans, where we can back increase affordable housing development, income-based housing development. And all of that money and the profit that comes back from that bank will go right back to city services, whether it's helping our underfunded schools, whether it's paying down our pension debt. This is the amazing opportunity to have our own economic engine to rebuild Chicago, and then that profit benefits Chicago.
See, he has a plan. No one else spoke. No one else goes to like the extent of sharing what the details are, so people understand why they need to start paying more attention to the candidate's platform and foundation and actual plan to solve some of these problems from a financial perspective. Everyone always says, how are you going to pay for it? Great idea. Works in North Dakota. Okay, whether it's run by Republicans or Democrats or aliens, it doesn't matter. It works. So stop, we don't need to claim
it's this red versus blue stuff is so tiring.
Right. It's not red blue constipational. It's what's going to work to help people.
Yeah, I mean, literally,
win-win situation.
One follow-up to that. Any thoughts on proposing the LaSalle Street tax to help increase revenue to the city?
100%. I've always been a supporter of the LaSalle Street tax. So there's a lot of progressive tax streams.
Hold on a second. I'm just wondering if he gave you the finger on the side of his head while you asked him about taxes, Jerry.
Jamal gave me the finger?
Yeah, let me see. If
increase affordable housing development, income-based housing development, and all of that money and the profit that comes back from that bank will go right back to city services, whether it's helping our underfunded schools, whether it's paying down our pension debt. This is the amazing opportunity to have our own economic engine to rebuild Chicago, and then that profit benefits Chicago. It's a win-win situation.
One follow-up to that. Any thoughts on proposing the LaSalle Street tax to help increase revenue to the city?
100%. I've always been a supporter of the LaSalle Street tax. So there's a lot of progressive tax streams.
Sorry, I just I saw
You're
that.
interrupting his message, and I do that a lot too. And it's not, although maybe it should start being with that intention.
I'm like, my head is like
people who stop the video who don't let him continue his thought and finish his sentence and his plan.
I'm sorry, Jerry. Okay.
I'm rewinding it.
Our pension debt. This is the amazing opportunity to have our own economic engine to rebuild Chicago, and then that profit benefits Chicago. It's a win-win situation.
One follow-up to that. Any thoughts on proposing the LaSalle Street tax to help increase revenue to the city?
100%. I've always been a supporter of the LaSalle Street tax. So there's a lot of progressive tax streams that we would definitely support in this race.
Let's also clarify the LaSalle Street tax is a tax of like 1 to 2 cents per transaction. Multi-million dollar trades. It's a Wall Street tax. Multi-million dollar trades every day, if they can't afford to give back 1 or 2 cents per transaction from the millions and billions that they're shifting back and forth, I've read that would literally knock out our budget deficit here in Chicago. But you can't tax the rich people on LaSalle Street 1 or 2 cents per transaction. That would make them poor. Come on.
Well, no, it wouldn't make them poor. It would make them not as rich, and then of course they get mad about that, and so they spend all this money to try and prevent people from taking the money that they've already been sucking out of our economy,
while manipulating the markets for all the retail investors and taking money away from them.
Yeah, that's a whole other show, Jerry.
It is.
Oh my God, who could have possibly seen that a bunch of retail investors trying to save a movie theater company would have opened up the floodgates to all kinds of exposure of corruption in politics, in cryptocurrency, in Wall Street. It's insane.
And we are proud to be part of that movement. Let's move on with Jimena.
Come on.
Community benefits agreement is always super, super important, and we're going to make sure we hold developers accountable to make sure that folks can afford to stay anywhere in this city. Thank you guys so much.
Alderman Sigcho Lopez, we noticed that Mayor Lightfoot was not here today, which was unusual because the press is here, all the candidates are here to share their vision for the future, but she's not here. So I approached you, and Kit approached you a little moment ago to ask why Mayor Lightfoot wasn't here, because everybody's got to file their petitions today. So can you shed some light on why the mayor is not here today amongst all the other candidates to maybe, I don't know, answer questions, share her vision, or file her petitions? Why isn't she here?
Well, it's unusual for an incumbent to not file the first day. I presume that she may not have enough signatures to wait another week. And again, as an incumbent, as a mayor of the city of Chicago, it's unusual for an incumbent, especially the mayor of the city of Chicago, not to be here on the first day of filing. I presume she does not have enough signatures yet.
I can only hope you're right. Listen, thanks. It's always a pleasure to see you. Appreciate it.
This is the first time, I believe, in history that a sitting mayor have not filed on the first day, you know? Hey, Paul, come on over here, Paul. Come on, I'm having a friend. Yeah. This is Paul, y'all. You know?
Now take note. They're buddies, which is nice to see the camaraderie amongst candidates, but I also think it reflects the biggest problem in that they're so cozy and friendly with each other, nothing really changes because they're all watching each other's backs. That's the problem. Nice guys. I mean, it was, we've talked about, go ahead.
Put them in a buddy cop movie, or, one of those kind of, two guys in a movie doing all kinds of action and weird stuff and fighting corruption and all that other stuff. I'll go see that movie all day,
dude. I think you've nailed it. I think these two need to be in some kind of a buddy cop or buddy otherwise comedy together. I mean, come on, look at how
rebooting Lethal Weapon. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm getting too over this shit.
All right, let's go on with the video. I got to click it twice, I guess. Okay. Come on.
Oh, they already interviewed me. They're waiting for you, though.
He got a suit on there, you know?
I know.
I could not afford a suit, His guy here could,
He told me I had a...
What is that? Dude's a millionaire. What is this? I could not afford a suit.
Couldn't even dress up for the petition drop-off. I was tempted to ask him if he had any extra gas cards, but I didn't want to screw up my credibility there asking him questions.
Dress up.
But no, Paul's good, buddy.
Yeah, likewise.
Good fan.
Friends for a long time.
What do you feel about Congressman
Garcia's late entry into the race, because you know a lot of people are looking at this as being a potential spoiler for everybody who's put in the work and gotten started earlier.
Well,
Okay, the mic wasn't on Jerry. He was asking, what do they think about Chewy Garcia getting into the race so late?
I put it this way. Didn't he just run for congressman?
Yeah.
Well, I really feel this much. Don't try to fool the people. If you're going to run for congressman, then going to turn around and run for mayor is wrong. He needs not to receive a paycheck for Congress. All right? He needs to drop that paycheck.
I agree with him there. He just won his congressional seat again. Now he's going to jump ship to run for mayor. How's the work that needs to be done for Illinois in Congress going to get done? Or does this really show that that's all autopilot? Other people are doing it, not the people who are supposed to lead in front that we elect.
Give it to the citizen because he ran for Congress. All right? So I feel that is totally wrong to do, to take the taxpayer dollars out here. So come off payroll, Garcia. Come off payroll. Yeah.
Look, it's a little disingenuous to, like, the day after you win you get reelected to the congressman, you know, you decide to run for mayor. So I think that's a betrayal of his voters. But the bottom line is this: everybody has the right to run, and this is going to be an issue that's going to be decided. This is going to be a race that's going to be decided on the issues, and he's going to have to. It's time to put up or shut up. I mean, what has he said about public safety? What has he said about the fact that schools were closed for 15 consecutive months?
It's all about public safety for them, but their solution is throwing more money at the cops, which doesn't do anything. Anyway,
with punishing results, or for that matter, what has he said about the kind of the tax and waste cycle that constitutes our budget? So he's going to have to bring himself up to speed very quickly on the issues. But look, we always knew it was going to be a crowded campaign, and it's a crowded campaign because the city is in need of leadership. City's in a real crisis, and I think that's the reason as many individuals are coming out to run as are coming out, and as many prominent individuals.
Are you all together?
He's definitely on theme.
That's a lot of money.
or in this case, petitions.
Yes. All right, we're done with that.
Here's our coverage. A lot of fun.
That was great, Jerry. I'm
thank
so
you.
glad you guys
I want
made
to
it out.
thank Connor and Kid again for accompanying me. First, I feel real successful venture out in the field with good quality audio and good quality video from a camera with a good videographer helping us out there. So
that was great, and I am remiss if I do not acknowledge that today is Taco Tuesday, Jerry, and so I prepared a taco today.
Looks like a taco pizza.
No, well, you see, it's a pizza taco. See?
I see. Now you're making me hungry, and I haven't eaten yet.
So everyone else, I hope you're enjoying your Taco Tuesday here on Chicago Corner. We're going to move on to what the hell are we going to talk about? Should we talk about Lori?
Yeah. Do you want to bring up
kind of where our kind of where our conversation's going, because she was the only one not to show up here.
We're talking about the tweet.
We got a few things to talk about Lori Lightfoot today.
I love your show note header, Lori Panuzza.
Oh yes, it's Lori. It's Lori Panuzza. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay, this is our multi-Lori story.
I'm bringing up the tweet right now. If you want to start, though, I'll have it on screen in a moment.
We get. I've got it actually.
You have it? Okay. Are you able to run browser without any
buffering issues?
We'll find out momentarily. Thank you for
back up.
joining us on Chicago Corner, where we try to make sure that our stream is as buffery and weird as possible. Here's Lori Lightfoot tweeting on 2 days ago regarding the shooting in Colorado Springs, where she's using her potty mouth again, Jerry. I don't know if they have a swear jar in her office, but maybe they need to put one in there.
You know, I don't blame anybody for being based. When it comes to an elected official, I don't know if it might work during the campaign. I don't know that it works as much when they're actually serving the public this way.
And I'm not saying that the outrage is not justified.
Yeah, no, it absolutely. So what is she doing about it?
Why does she not recognize who she is and what she represents? She represents the city of Chicago. Chicago has its own issues with gun violence. Maybe she should recognize that before tweeting about being sick of some other city's gun violence issues.
Right? She's deflecting. It's never about her.
Maybe she can contribute to solutions instead of continuing to let city council funnel more money into the CPD, which doesn't seem to be solving the problem. We keep throwing money in there, Jerry. We've talked about this. In fact, we talked about it earlier today. We keep throwing money in the police department. They keep saying, oh, we need more money. We can't do our jobs. We need more money. They give them more money. We can't. The violence doesn't stop. We can't do our jobs. We need more money. What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Exactly. So that's part one. And let's go. Oh, and then of course we got. So I don't. Was this today? No, this was yesterday. So yeah. So we know why Lori was too busy to show up. I mean, other than us guessing that she's probably not got enough signatures yet.
I think that's a big reason. But she was also out with Pete Buttigieg. Cannot pronounce that last name no matter how many times I look at how it's spelled.
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg. Well, I prefer you say Buttigieg. I say Buttigieg.
So yes, the Transportation Secretary of the United States, PDB,
who when he entered his office, he immediately took domestic leave so he and his husband could raise the child that they adopted. And God only knows who was like handling the business of the transportation office.
Yes, Wine Cave Pete. That's the guy. And
ladies and gentlemen,
and, Kathy Powers.
Yep.
Kathy Powers tipped us $1.
She did. So you know what that means. Thank you, Kathy.
Thanks, Kathy. And so, yeah, so here we are with Lori at O'Hare Airport with Pete because they've got money, infrastructure money to expand O'Hare Airport. Okay. Where's the money for everything else? Have you seen the Kennedy Expressway lately?
The potholes need filling.
Again, that cold patch ain't holding, guys. Come on.
You know, really quickly, we got some great other alternate pronunciations for Pete Buttigieg, Pete Buttigieg, Pete Buttigieg, along with my Pete Buttigieg. Anyway, please, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
Yes. Oh, that's about it there. It's just, you know, we got, I mean, sure. I can't, I mean, who's flying these days? How many people are flying? Do they really need to expand that right now? Is that really the top of your priorities? That's just what I'm thinking. I mean,
well,
yeah,
no,
we need an overhaul
in Chicago.
We need a national overhaul of all infrastructure. Our Congress has completely failed us, left, right, center, whatever. All of them have nickeled and dimed and austerity'd us into a super tiny infrastructure bill. What was it, 1.9 billion? It should have been closer to like 10.
I have to interrupt
at
you,
a
Ed.
minimum.
To interrupt you, love this comment. Angela Sangster. I wish I was able to make more live streams, but wanted to show some support for independent Illinois media. Now, please stop showing the scary lady.
Which
Kathy,
one?
we may have to, those
This
$1.
one? Oh, sorry.
Which one?
This one? Sorry. I didn't mean, my finger slipped. Sorry.
It might, Kathy, if people are willing to pay $10 to keep Lori Leprechaun off the stream, we might need to get more people to start upping the tips to have her on the live stream. This could be very lucrative, Ed.
Oh, you think? Oh, yeah. We should. Do you have the Rockfin link handy for tonight's show? Maybe throw that in the chat so that they can friend us.
So people, please join us. Yeah, let me get that link up here. Keep talking. I'll bring the link up. Actually, I can type it in. Let me get to our channel here.
So anyway, so that was part 2 of the Lori saga. Lori Panuza multi-Lori story. Say that 5 times fast. What was the third one? Ah, yes.
Please subscribe to us. I just put it in the chat. Follow and subscribe to us. We're live streaming there right now also. rockfin.com/Chicago Corner. And better to tip us there, again, than on YouTube, because Rockfin is far more generous. I'm actually bringing it up so people can see what our Rockfin page looks like. And here we are. Actually, that's the stream right now that's going out live with the archive of our previous Tuesday and Friday shows. So everybody, please join us over there too if you want to tip us. We really appreciate it.
So here we are, part 3 of Lori Panuza.
Okay, here's part 3. I have the story up for you, Ed. Oh, you've got it. Okay.
From the Chicago Tribune. With new campaign fund, Mayor Lori Lightfoot's allies are raising cash outside city ethics rules limits.
Of course, to quote Chunk Uger.
Yeah, so here she is shaking hands with a really stylish dude. Wow. Dude, I would totally dress like that if I could pull it off.
Oh, my God.
Really.
Well, wait. That
who was that?
Suspiciously... this is, I'm just going to have to throw a freebie out here. That looks suspiciously like, you know what, Ed? I think that they shop at the same men's store.
God.
You think?
All right. I think we're going to have to start a conspiracy theory here tonight, Jerry. Okay. Lori Lightfoot, very first candidate from the Leprechaun Guild to have run and successfully been elected to mayor, and that must be the mayor of Leprechaun Town.
I think we have broken a story. We've cracked the mystery.
At least that's my first guess. I mean, if you want in the live chat to let us, know what you think. Who this person is.
We've cracked the
case.
Is
she shaking? Why is she shaking Lori Lightfoot's hand? Post in the live stream.
Is that a representative of the Lollipop Guild?
Oh, maybe.
Going into the election, what we hope for.
Okay, so getting back to the story though, Jerry.
Sorry.
As Mayor Lori Lightfoot ramps up her bid for re-election, her close allies have created a new campaign fund unbound by how much money contributors can give or who they are.
I smell fear.
Restrictions Lightfoot must abide by. So in other words, she's basically seeing what she can get away with to pull in campaign funds so she can run super PAC ads against all of her other campaign opponents. Sorry.
Did you see her recent ad drops where she delivers pizza to people? That was last week. I think we forgot to comment on that.
Oh, I didn't. No, I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't see those? All right, you keep reading. I'm
No.
gonna see if I can find that commercial.
Okay, yeah, great. Okay, so the 77 committee, being run by a longtime top Lightfoot advisor, is allowed to accept unlimited funds, probably because they're a super PAC. That's how that works. Did I tell you guys I made a super PAC once? It's a Bacon Super PAC. You can actually see the old website. It was baconsuperpac.com. It was we tried to collect money so that we could influence political elections several years ago. But I think we collected $5 out of my own pocket to get the ball rolling, and then nobody donated. So then the super PAC exists, but it never had to report anything to the IRS because it never collected any money. So if you guys ever want to do a super PAC, I can show you how. But not everybody is keen on that because basically it's a way to hide big corporate donations. But it's also a way to help out campaigns. So it's a double-edged sword there, and not everybody wants to do that. They want everything out in the open. Anyway, so 77 committee, they're a super PAC, or they're a PAC at least, is allowed to accept unlimited funds, including from city contractors who are severely bound under city ethics rules from contributing to Lightfoot's campaign fund or a Lightfoot-aligned political action committee. So that's where we get into it. City contractors.
Right. I'm standing here in front of the federal courthouse in
Oh,
Washington, D.C.
I can hear a video.
Sorry,
there, Jerry.
sorry.
Okay.
I was trying to cue this up. Okay.
Yeah. So city contractors, this is their way around the limitations for donations, so that they can give Lori Lightfoot more money. So we know from by all the stories we've reported about, there are some city contractors that are sometimes up to no good, Jerry. I know you and Jerry and kids have covered General Iron, and we've talked about some other contractors that have been polluters and been trying to locate in locations too close to residential areas. And so if they're giving her money, this could be the way that they're doing it. The move follows in the footsteps of Lightfoot's predecessor, former Mayor Rahm F. Face Emanuel.
I'm Ram Fuckface Emmanuel. I know you're a little.
Thank you, Jerry.
All right, you're welcome. I'll be here to throw words you can't bring yourself to utter.
You know, it's all those years of college radio, Jerry, that have basically made me try to avoid the curse words because we didn't want to get fined by the FCC. But we're not on the radio right now.
We're not on college radio anymore, buddy.
So we can say fuck, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to.
Without anybody tone policing us either.
Because, Jerry, this is a family show.
Well, it's after 8 o'clock, though.
Well,
so
it's a family-ish show.
Yeah, and I think I know they're a family. Look, you know what I've read?
Yeah.
The most honest people in the world curse all the time. If somebody doesn't curse, don't trust them. Because it's the ultimate showing of like expressing yourself honestly and authentically.
That's the fucking truth, Jerry.
Thank you, Ed.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, that was our third story. Basically, contractors are trying to find ways around the donation limitations, and here they are working with the 77 committee super PAC to do it. So.
All right,
so we're pretty much done with that.
This is probably, pizza enthusiast that you are, going to really piss you off. Now, sadly, the first link I found with a video was from the odious characters over at Fox and Fiends, as I like to call them.
Fiends.
But I will run the video and then I'll share some of the stuff I just found on Twitter. This is going to piss you off, Ed. Oh, but I have the volume down. Let me pull it back up. That's what she said. All right, here we go.
Has Lightfoot done anything? Given the mess she was dealt, Lori's delivering. And she was cool during COVID.
Was she?
Hey, did you order thousands of new jobs and a pepperoni?
Told you she delivers.
Stop the video. Stop the video.
I told you it was going to piss you off.
Okay.
Isn't she a hipster, Ed? Isn't she such a hipster
Right.
reaching out to the young people who might not be impacted by her horrible record? Let's lean on.
Okay.
Oh, I was a meme during COVID. Is all this ad is she was a meme during COVID. She was handed a mess, and she's hip and she delivers. You know what?
So,
apparently,
she was a meme during COVID.
look, Lori.
Actual
I love
guy.
this Twitter. Lori Lightfoot may have found something she can be good at, delivering pizza.
Pizza. All right, here's the problem I have. The first problem I have,
Go ahead.
Jerry. Pepperoni? Are you freaking kidding me? Chicago, Jerry, is an Italian sausage town.
You better believe it.
That's
what she said. Say it one more time. One more time, Ed. What is Chicago?
Chicago is an Italian sausage town.
That's what she said.
A sausage town, Jerry. Look, pepperoni is delightful. I love pepperoni, but don't get me wrong. This is the city of the stockyards. Jerry.
God bless you, Pat. I'm a little old lady and have worse language than you. Oh, I love our viewers. I love our fans, our viewers and fans. Thank you.
I cannot believe pepperoni. She's
Let's
out of touch.
Let's look at some of the other Twitter comments. I love the one that says Lori Lightfoot may have found something she can be good at. Oh, she delivers all right. Death sentences to the people of Chicago while she eats pizza.
Oh my God.
Lori Lightfoot roasted for new campaign ad. Just resign in disgrace, coming from MSN, about the only job she is qualified for. No disrespect intended to pizza delivery people all over the world. Apparently, Lori Lightfoot moonlights delivering pizza.
Oh, someone actually posted a proper version of deep dish in a tweet instead of that fake stuffed pizza calling it deep dish.
In relation
that person needs an award.
In relation
I'm
to our,
sorry.
In relation to our previous story you reported on, Chicago's mayor is more upset over the Colorado Springs shooting than she is about her own city every single weekend. The hypocrisy has no bounds. I know you're delivering pizza, Lori, but your city is in shambles.
Oh, did you see we got $2 tipped on Rockfin from our one and only Kathy Powers?
Kathy, God bless you, my friend.
I think that deserves. I think that deserves.
That deserves
this
one.
Is that me gold?
What the hell are you?
I'm a leprechaun, me dear.
Here, this is what you're looking for, right?
Look, my eyes, startling, help! I'm the leprechaun. Garth, I'm the leprechaun!
Cool it, okay?
I'm the leprechaun!
Stop it, all right?
Don't try and steal me, pot of gold!
We can say that Kathy ordered the deluxe. Talking about pizza, she ordered the deluxe Lori.
Thank you, Kathy, for ordering the deluxe, and also I think it's just more evidence in that video clip that man absolutely was the mayor of Leprechaun Town.
Now, Dominic also tipped another $2 over at Rockfin. If our citizens have no control over their tax money, they have no control over their government. How tax money is spent determines their safety, health, financial well-being, and civil rights. It affects every aspect of their lives. Thank you for that, Dominic, and thank you for the $2 tip on Rockfin. Let's look at a couple more of the Twitter comments regarding her pizza delivery ad. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot released a new campaign ad, but it may not be getting the reaction she hoped. Let's see. I just had a brilliant idea. You should do a spoof on the Lori Lightfoot commercial. Have her show up at the door with a pizza saying, "Did you order more jobs?" And have the person that's getting the order have the person who's getting the order. Wait, We're waiting for the punchline. Say something like, "No, I didn't order that. I ordered No Crime, Law and Order. As usual, they get the delivery wrong every time. Here's a tip for your efforts." I'm going on a diet. I'm going on a diet.
Yeah, we ordered sausage. Excuse me.
Oh my goodness. If Lori Lightfoot delivers my pizza, I'm going hungry. Thank you. No Beetlejuice pizza. No Beetlejuice, no pizza. Hashtag no Beetlejuice, no pizza. I love Twitter. This is what Twitter's for. It's for the irreverent response from the public against our corrupt, out of touch, tone deaf elected representatives. Anyway, that's enough from that's as much as I could find on Twitter. But yeah, she's co-opted pizza. Ed, doesn't that piss you off?
It is not delightful to see her.
Miguel H. Lori be like, I got your sausage right here.
Yeah, there's that video too, but I think we're gonna wait on that one just a little bit. All right, I think we're done talking Lori for just a moment, and it is getting close to 9 o'clock Central Time. We're going to get into the next story, which is, what are we doing? We can save that weed story for Friday, Jerry, I think.
Okay.
That's the one, or we can just briefly mention the place where the old...
Yeah,
where the old rainforest. Yeah,
I don't know enough about weed to properly comment on it. So go ahead.
Okay, the some of you in Chicago remember the Rainforest Cafe that used to be on Clark. Well, that is now.
It was the Al Capone's. It was Al Capone. It was Capone's until all of our virtue signaling politicians thought we can't associate Al Capone with Chicago, forgetting all the corruption that we're regularly mired in that they're engaged in. We can't have Capone, so it became the Rainforest Cafe, and now Ed,
and now it got the approval to, as Block Club Chicago says, swap its mushrooms for weed. It is they're going to be a dispensary, and they're getting some type of special permission to open that one there because apparently there's one right down the street, and there's not supposed to be. So, like I said, we'll get into that on Friday. We could talk a little more in depth on that. But since we ran long on a few things,
I got to add one comment though. The proximity of the new weed dispensary at Rainforest Cafe, being right across the street from a McDonald's, man, oh man! If you get that weed dispensary and you got the munchies, everything's within close proximity to each other. Is all I got to say.
Yeah. And then I just think it's fun, and it's also kind of funny that they had all those mushrooms on the outside of the building, but we're told that they're not going to be there once they convert it.
They're missing a perfect promotional opportunity, removing those mushrooms.
Yeah. Well, something tells me the city probably is going to make sure that they don't keep those mushrooms. So,
yeah, the way that they bullied that restaurant in Pilsen that had Cheech and Chong on the side of the building with the hot dog.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, that's another story we can probably talk about later too. Is that there's another place that's getting hassled about their stuff. So,
Angela, I love you. We can't have Chicago associated with Al Capone. Oh, I'm pretty sure that ship sailed, and Al Capone was nowhere near as scary as Lori.
And that dude, he had soup kitchens, man. He actually, say what you want about the whole psychopath part of that dude. He actually did help the community.
Yeah. He was an honest criminal, not one that pretended that they weren't, while lying about what they were going to provide and then reneging later.
Yeah, well, he has his enthusiasms.
Enthusiasms.
All right, so let's talk about the next thing here. Here we go.
Can't deny. This week, the focus is on food, specifically the turkey.
Very, very important.
Yes.
And if you're a Thanksgiving pro or this is your first year in charge of turkey, everyone has some questions. Bill Nolan is joining us, a supervisor with the Butterball Turkey Talk Line.
Okay, Bill. we're gonna see what you have to say, but I actually have some experience baking turkeys and cooking for Thanksgiving, so I may have a few things to say about some of your suggestions.
To answer our cooking questions. Good morning to you, Bill. We know the calling lines open at 7 a.m., so we're getting really close to that. I'm so curious. I would never think of calling into the turkey line. So what's the most common question you get?
Well, we've been in business for 41 years, believe it or not, and this is where it all happens. This is the call center. We open at 7, as you said. This will be the beehive of activity. The most common question we've gotten over the years is, how do I thaw that turkey? A turkey's big, it's a frozen piece of meat, and it's a little imposing. People only make them once or twice a year. So people are always calling us, especially this week. It's like, my turkey's still frozen. Is there time to get it thawed?
Okay. Yes, but not in the refrigerator. So we're what, 2 days out, Jerry? At this, if you wanted to thaw your turkey in the refrigerator,
you had to start this weekend. I think
you probably should have moved it from the freezer to the refrigerator like on Saturday or Sunday.
Right.
So, but there are shortcuts. Like there's this one where you can run it. You have it in a sink or a tub, and you're running cold water over it, and then you're bailing out the water, and you keep changing the water until the thing's thawed. And you can that is pretty much your only option right now if your turkey's still frozen.
Well, how can I do that? Is there a way I could speed up the process? And those are just some of the questions that we answer here at the talk line. And all of our experts are well versed in everything there is to do with turkey, whether it's prep, cooking, leftovers, what to do with those leftovers, and very, very well versed in food safety.
Okay, Bill, thank you for that. But for the beginners out there, what is a fail-safe way to make a really good turkey?
All right, before he does that, I'm just going to post this link up here. These guys at Butterball, they do have some good resources for you. Go to the calculators. If you're trying to figure out, it's like, I got a 15-pound turkey, and I want to know how long it's going to take me to defrost that thing while I'm running water under it. They can give you a good estimate of that. Or they can tell you how long it's going to take to bake your turkey. So definitely use them for that. They're very big on food safety, so they want to, when they tell you certain temperatures the bird should be, probably should take it with a little grain of salt. Sometimes they overestimate the temperatures on there. So when they say cook to 165, that's the food safety. That's the official serve safe food safety temperature for making sure you're killing all the bad stuff that might be in a bird. So
it's very simple. There's a million ways to make a turkey, from grilling it to smoking it to deep frying it. Butterball recommends what we call the open pan method. This turkey here is going to be done in the open pan method. It's very simple. You just get a pan that's about 2.5 to 3 inches deep. Put the turkey in the pan.
That's what
As
she
you
said.
prep the turkey, though, you open it up, remove the neck, remove the giblets, which are in the top cavity, which is back here, the neck in here. Then we put it into the pan on a rack. Once it's into the pan on a rack, we take our vegetable oil, any kind of vegetable oil, avocado oil works.
Okay, no, don't use avocado oil. Vegetable oil's fine. I hear a lot of recommendations for olive oil, although you may end up getting a little smoky in the kitchen. Use lots of ventilation, guys. I recommend, first of all, when he says get that stuff out of the cavity, make sure there's not a packet of gravy or something hiding in there. You don't want that plastic thing cooking through while the rest of your turkey's cooking. That's not good, man.
Speaking of turkey,
Except the Bumpus' dog. Oh, gosh. Be careful, Ralphie.
Now, it is well known throughout the Midwest that the old man is a turkey junkie, a bona fide Gali Turkicanis freak. A few days before Christmas, his eyes would begin to gleam with a wild and ravenous light.
Dude.
There we go. That was necessary. Since we're talking turkey,
Yeah. Actually, this whole show, we've been talking turkey.
a lot of turkeys, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of a good theme for this week, you know. So yeah, we're basically, when you're baking turkey, you don't want to keep basting it. You don't want to keep opening the oven door. It's just going to make it take longer for you to bake your turkey. So get your preferred temperature there, you know, 325 to 350, somewhere in that range. You, like I said, use the Butterball link I got up there to look for how long it's going to take approximately. But get an instant read thermometer. Don't necessarily trust that little pop-up thermometer that they got in some of those turkeys. They are made to melt at a certain temperature and pop up, but they maybe give you a false reading, and you never know. Then let's see if we can get to the other part here where they talk about stuff.
Butter can burn. We brush the turkey all over.
Don't use butter. Are you kidding me?
325 degree oven for anywhere.
Okay, the reason why you don't use butter is because there's too much water in it, and then your skins don't get as crispy. The solution to that, of course, is to use clarified butter or ghee, which is basically, you know, that will super butter up your turkey skin if that's what you're going for. But yeah, don't use avocado oil. I mean, aside from it just being weird to put on your turkey, just use a standard vegetable oil, man. Come on. Okay.
From 3 to 5 hours, and
now here
it will
he
be
is.
perfectly done.
Is that a real turkey on your left there? Because it looks so shiny and perfect.
Okay, no, it doesn't. Okay, it looks too light to me. It looks like they didn't have the temperature up high enough, or they didn't bake it long enough. It should be a much darker, almost mahogany color on the outside. I mean, that may be cooked through, but that's hardly perfect to me. And then also, there we get stuffing in there. Don't stuff your birds. That makes it take way longer to bake your birds. And most people, they throw that stuffing in the middle of your turkey, doesn't cook through, and then you end up with food poisoning, and that's bad.
Really does.
It is a real turkey. It is a real turkey, believe it or not. Yeah. Folks, we're up very early this morning making turkeys, as you can imagine. But yeah, isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, it definitely is. So if you're talking about basting the turkey, yes, no, yay, nay?
No, do not baste your turkey. Do not open the oven door. If you're looking, you ain't cooking.
Basting, you know, it's a question that comes up all the time. And here's our take on basting. When you baste a turkey, the skin of the turkey is what's going to get brown. When you baste it, the meat is not really going to be affected by the baste, so it's not really going to flavor the meat. But you'll get a nice golden brown color, which is what you like. But the big thing about basting, every time you open that door, that oven door, to baste that turkey, you're letting out about 100 degrees of heat. So when you close that door, have you ever been to a holiday party when said, I thought we were supposed to eat at 2 o'clock and it's 3:30,
Yeah.
Why haven't we eaten? Maybe somebody's basting the turkey too much.
Okay, Bill, real quick.
Yeah, and too much is it all. You should not baste your turkey. It's a waste of time.
Last question. What should chefs know about stuffing a turkey?
Don't do it.
Yes.
Really? Interesting.
Stuffing a turkey?
Yes.
Stuffing a turkey is a great way to add flavor. You can see that it's stuffed here to add flavor. Just remember some rules of thumb. Don't stuff it with piping hot stuffing. Don't stuff it right before you put it in the oven. Right before you put it in the oven for food safety. And also, when it comes out of the oven, take the temperature of that stuffing with your food thermometer. It needs to be 165 degrees in order to be food safe.
Oh, good tips. This is so helpful, especially as we're
So helpful.
So helpful. But
Okay.
always remember, after you've cooked your turkey, Ed, right, and you're ready to enjoy it, just make sure that your kitchen door is closed.
Sons of bitches, bumpus.
I've been enjoying that movie on multiple plays this week while I'm working at my desk, and I'm always reminded when we talk about turkey of even though it's Christmas time, the whole turkey scene.
So this is a
Christmas Story.
Yeah, this is a turkey that I butterflied, which also is known as the wonderful word spatchcocked. Spatchcocked turkeys here on Chicago Corner. The advantage of this, and the way you butterfly is you cut through both sides of the turkey backbone, and then you press down on the other side to get it flat, and then it's lying a little flatter on your baking sheet, and then the turkey cooks up and it gets a lot crisper and stuff, and it also cooks faster, and it still looks pretty good. But yeah, so that's an option. You know, you could go to what is it, Alton Brown. You know, the guy who has that show called Good Eats. He's got his own website, altonbrown.com, and he's got his recipes on there. He's got plenty of Thanksgiving recipes, and he will tell you all the stuff that I've been telling you. Don't stuff your turkeys, you know, or if you're gonna stuff them, make sure that they're at least close to room temperature, so that when the whole bird cooks, the center where the stuffing is also gets to that 165, like Bill from Butterball had mentioned. And if you want, and if you're still trying to figure out what am I going to do for my stuffing recipe this year. I made my stuffing last weekend because we had in our family, one of my brothers had this thing called a Friendsgiving, where they did it the Saturday before.
Got one coming
and
up.
It was kind of, it's a little bit of a potluck, and they requested that I make my world famous super stuffing. And it is at edheller.com, and you click on the old recipes page, and you can let's see if I can pull that up. Oh, that's what she said. It's my first day.
Oh, I think that you know what? Don't sweat it, Ed. Oh, okay, you're good. You got it.
Here we go. All right, so this is my hybrid stuffing that I created many years ago. It is a combination of the traditional and cornbread stuffings. So it's I use a sage flavored sausage in mine. You don't have to use meat in your stuffing. You could try sage with like some of those soy crumbles that are out there. Some of those veggie crumble options are actually pretty good these days, and it probably tastes very similar or the same. I have a special thing where I bake my own cornbread, and I bake
cornbread.
Thanksgiving. Yes.
Cornbread.
No, porn. Yes, porn. Yes, cornbread. No, cornbread.
Let's see if that triggers the sex bots.
Well, now Jerry's just trying to get him to show up a second time. So he's like, "See, Ed," he's like, "It's just you that brings the sex bots. See, you were hosting that show. It's all your fault that the sex bots show up and ask people about cornbread."
I think we need a weekly cooking show segment on Chicago Corner, hosted by Ed.
So I got my recipe up here. If you guys are interested, like I said, go to edheller.com and check it out. It's actually pretty good. I get a request for it every year. That
Pat Brannigan says, "Then I can eat your stuffing without meat." That's what she said.
We got so many double entendres this evening, Jerry. I just don't know what we're going to do with ourselves.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so that's our turkey talk segment for this evening on Chicago Corner, and I think it's time. Do we have any more information about our event that is coming up on December 23rd, Jerry?
Only that people need to mark their calendars. We will be producing and presenting a promo, probably that will be released after December 3rd with more details on the event. But in the meantime, everybody should just mark their calendars and make sure that they plan to show up to the Patio Theater. I don't have the address in front of me, but it's on Irving Park Road.
Hang on a second.
Do you have the teaser graphic I created?
I had the teaser graphic and I can't find it.
Well, I'll keep talking then, unless we need to pull one of these.
Yes. So
We're back.
Coming up. Yes. So Chicago Corner presents Solstice and a Home Alone double feature at the historic Patio Theater, a classic movie palace built in 1927, located at 6008 West Irving Park Road on the historic northwest side of Chicago, in the ward of Aldermore.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think we're going to be inviting that scary dude to the screening, but I'm going to see if we can reach out to some other progressive-minded elected representatives across the city to join us. The intention for the evening is not just to come out for a show, but to bring food and toys for struggling Chicagoans that will get you half off the admission. And I believe one of the things that I can also share tentatively, there might also be a Christmas song sing-along accompanied by an organist. This has been floated around. I think it's going to happen. I don't want to be too presumptive yet until we lock down the details. But I don't know for anybody who's been to a Christmas screening over at the Music Box Theater. They always have their annual Christmas sing-along. We might be also presenting one of our own at the Patio Theater pre-show. And it will be emceed by our very own Kid Cabello. And Chicago Corner, Kira, Ed, and I will be live streaming before the show starts in the lobby, where people will be dropping off food and toys and whatever other things we can collect to pass along to charities that we're going to be partnering with at this event. So just mark your calendars for now to plan to be there. It's the night before Christmas. You'll be able to enjoy two fantastic Chicago-based Christmas Eve movies. One of them of which I produced and directed. By the way, it's funny because I produced and directed Solstice, I think 2 years after Home Alone, but I got so much experience. No, it wasn't on Home Alone. I'm sorry. It was on Dennis the Menace. I had gotten a lot of in the field experience directing by working as a production and location assistant on Dennis the Menace when they were shooting here in Chicago. But I also recall during the many long nights we were shooting Solstice on snowy streets in Chicago, one of the ways that I kept my crew energized and invigorated was I had one of these old CD boom boxes, and I would be playing the soundtrack from Home Alone behind the scenes before we were like shooting the scenes for Solstice, just to get everybody in that festive holiday mood. Because we were shooting November and December of 1992 during the actual Christmas season, so we could take advantage of Christmas decorations that were already out on the streets on the north side of Chicago, primarily the Lakeview corridor. Anyway, some trivia. Please come out and join us on the 23rd. It's going to be a real fun event, and it's going to be our opportunity to really get a chance to meet our viewers and supporters here on Chicago Corner in an event that is meant to bring the community together again after the long isolation we had to deal with through the pandemic. So hopefully that's all behind us.
And with that, what is it, 9:20? Should we end the live stream, Jerry?
Yeah, have we covered everything from the show notes?
Excuse me.
I saw some updates on the grocery store shuffle.
Yeah, we had a couple updates. We probably could go into deeper information on Friday. Just it's the typical thing. Whole Foods is closing in Englewood. Well, who thought Whole Foods was going to do well in Englewood? I mean, why didn't you get like a Mariano's in there?
Well, it could do well if they were also expected to like base their prices on a realistic cost in that, and not just in that community, Ed, in every community. Let's be frank. You don't need to. The cost of food in a grocery store, it's like there's some special boutique. It's just food, okay? It's just food. It's just a grocery store. To overcharge for food when they're already turning a great profit is ridiculous to begin with. So, yeah, maybe it was a little short-sighted to put a Whole Foods in that neighborhood. I don't think so. I think that it was more there should be more onus set in front of the ownership of Whole Foods, not saying that the food was overpriced. It was overpriced. It should be fairly priced.
Yeah, and we've talked about how the neighborhoods and the mayor should be involved in the whole process of having grocery stores set up shop in different areas, and how responsible they have to be in order to make sure that we don't have food deserts or whatever they're calling them now. So, I mean, this is another problem that next mayor of Chicago is going to have to deal with as well. So,
Kathy shares there's an Aldi there at cheaper prices than the Aldi up here. Yeah, that's the point.
And let's hope Aldi doesn't pull up shop and leave altogether.
The point being, if Aldi could reduce their prices, so could Whole Foods, and they still would be making a profit.
So the other update was basically the Triple Bean Casino. Bally's has secured a lease. Basically, they got Oak Street Capital to buy the lease, and then they're going to be leasing the land where the casino's going. So that's just a quick update that they're going to do it. So that's coming too, which is going to be. I mean, we got more. What do we have? We got the mayoral pledge. There's a link in the show notes. Take a look at it. Let us know what you think. And I think it might be good if we go out on my intro again.
Well, let's also remind everybody, Kira will be back anchoring next Tuesday.
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Are we live on Friday, Jerry?
For some reason I thought Thanksgiving was on Friday, but it's not. It's on Thursday. So I believe I will be. Thursday. Yeah, I believe we'll be back on Friday. Okay, are you going to be around, or will you be with your family?
I should be here.
Okay.
Yeah. So if not, I'll let you know. But you pretty much can count on seeing me and Jerry on Friday.
Awesome.
And check in with Kira next Tuesday.
She'll see you next Tuesday.
Yes, I don't know if it's going to be a Taco Tuesday.
Oh, because we're going to see you next Tuesday. If it's going to be a Taco Tuesday, there's so many double entendres there.
And on that note,
one other thing I also want to mention. Well, more. I just wanted to thank Kit and Connor again for helping out with the covering of the mayoral petition drop-off. It was very, very appreciated, and hopefully we will be able to do more field segments in the future with that level of quality to bring to you, instead of running other news organizations' coverage that we get copyright strikes on. So thanks again, guys, Kit and Connor. It was really a lot of fun and a pleasure to work with both of them and have their support.
Yeah, it was nice to use our own content, and then I was like updating my show notes today. I'm like, oh, I don't have to use all these videos. Jerry and Kit and Connor covered it all. Like, so that was great. That was good for us.
Kathy also advises everybody now with Lori Lightfoot moonlighting as a pizza delivery driver.
Where you order your pizza.
There you go. Lori's Pizza, Leprechaun's Pizza. What are we calling Lori's Pizza place?
I don't know.
Lori's Big Sausage Pizza.
Yes, that's what it is.
Oh my goodness.
So, and on that note,
Yes, Pat.
I am going to
take us out.
wish all of you a happy Taco Tuesday.
You've made me so hungry this show. I haven't eaten between pizzas and turkeys and tacos. I got to go figure out at 9:26 p.m. where I'm going to go forage for food.
All right, well, you can have half of this if you make it over here, Jerry.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be gone.
I don't
by the
eat
time it takes me to get over there.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. See you next Tuesday.
You are watching the Tuesday night edition of Chicago Corner. Woo!
Hello, and welcome to Taco Tuesday. Who wants a taco? Yeah, I know. Tacos, tacos, go crazy. All right, everyone, act normal. Perfect. Now, everybody say.
Oh my God! It's Taco Tuesday!
Pizza and taco. Who's the best? By Stephen Shapkan.
And voila. Pizza tacos.
The food things kind of stick with my brain a little longer than anything else. Everything else inside here, it's a Swiss cheese.
It was Pegleg who started the Great Chicago Fire.
Hey, you dirty son of an elf, get back here and help me put out this fire. Oh, sure, like the people will believe that Santa went on a bender in October and started a barn fire.
Unless it's
Where is it?
Get out! And don't come back until you've redeemed yourselves.
Get your hand off my penis!
No.
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Be safe.
Bye, everybody!
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.